Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding Metzia Daf Nunches. Shir Spatzul Nishma Sar B'Akosholim Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're starting Daf Nzayin with base in the bottom, the two dots. It says the Gemara Shemechino in Nishbo. So we learned in the Mishnah that Shemechino doesn't do shvua. We don't have the same halachas as Shemechinim and Shemesocher and Gnevo. We're talking about Hegdish, Karka, Shtar, and Evet. It says the Gemara very meaning. What brings a question? It says Bnei Yir Shesholchu Et Shekler. Right? The people of the city sent shkolim to Beis Hamikdash. As we learned in Masechet Shkolim, you have to send shkolim to Beis Hamikdash. There's 3 times a year, as Rashi points out over here, that we do the Trumas Alishka, and you send shkolim from everybody. So people of the city sent shkolim to Beis Hamikdash. V'nikrivu shavad got stolen or got lost. If already there was a truma, meaning in the Beis Hamikdash they already toirim the truma, as we'll see in a moment, that already qualifies these shkolim to work. So then, says the Gemara Aleph, Nishboim LaGizborim. They do a shvua to the gizbar, to the person who's responsible for English. They do a shvua that it wasn't their fault. If not, they do a shvua to the people of the city that it wasn't their fault. Who's going to do the shvua? So the Pashup Pshat. Talk about the shliach. The shliach who took the money. He took it. On the way, he got stolen. Or he got lost. So now, who is he responsible for? If there was truma already, was a nitra truma, you did the truma already. So Hegdish will lose, because right now the Bnei here does not have to give any more shkolim to Beis Hamikdash. So he has to go to Hegdish and say, I did whatever I can. I'm not responsible anymore. And if it wasn't truma, so the Bnei here have to do it again. So then they do a shvua to Bnei. And that's what it goes on. The Bnei here will replace the shkolim that were lost. In the second case, it gives something else. Says the Gemara, let's say eventually they found the money, or the ganavim that stole give it back. They found out shkolim Beis Hamikdash, they want to give it back. They both are shkolim. Whatever the original money that they gave was shkolim, and the ones they replaced with, it doesn't work for the next year because they intend to do it for this year, and that every year you have to do your own shkolim. So says the Gemara. So what do you see over here? You see that there is a shua. We're talking about money of Hegdish, right? Truma belongs to Hegdish. And you do a shua. You said there's no shomer by Hegdish. Says the Gemara, Amar Shmuel, here we're talking about that they're shomer socher. They're being paid to be the shliach. And therefore what? Still, there's no din shomer socher, as we learned in the Mishnah. They want to get their salary. They were promised, if you bring the shkol to Beis Hamikdash, you will get $100. Kama says, I want my $100. So what do you mean? Where's the money? He says, no, we're not responsible for it. Give me a shvur before I pay you. Not for the dinei shmiro that he has to come and pay double or whatever. Meaning if so there's nothing to do with the gizbar. It has to do with the people of the city. They're asking money from the people of the city in both cases. Before the truma and after the truma. They nishba to Bnei Yir in front of the gizbar. Meaning, why? What's the idea that they're doing it? Rashi says, nishba in the Bnei Yir litos to get their money. My gizbar b'shahev said that Hegdish. At the end of the day, Hegdish is losing. Now, there's no shuas a shomrim by Hegdish. We can't, like we learned in our Mishnah. But you want the gizbar want to be present to see that they really did a shul. For them to have to be choshedim that they lost the money. Or people shall call them poishin. Understand what the difference is if they're being suspected or because people are calling them poishin. They want people to know I did whatever I can. So I don't understand. But you said it was stolen or lost. If he's being paid, he's responsible for Gneva and Aveda. So maybe you don't have the halachas of shomer. Why should he get paid? So that's what it says. Right? They're not going to pay their own money because they don't have dinner shir v'socher. Agrarian meal, at least they should not get their salary. As the classic case we saw in Babakam a few times that we're talking about here, and we learned it also here in our Masechta, that we're talking about that it was stolen by. We're not talking about Gneva Avedo that Shomer Socher is responsible for. We talk about Gneva Aveda, steal or a theft or a loss, which is beyond his responsibilities. The Gnignev was listed as was an armed robbery, and Avdu is that his ship sunk in the sea. This is Rav Shimon. Says Rabbi Yochanan. So more this Rav Shimon. The sheet of Rav Shimon holds. We learned in our Mishnah. Rashi says, as also Sechet Shavuos, that if you're responsible for the Hegdish, so then you do have a Shavuot. Here you're responsible, you have to bring it to Hegdish. So that's why there's a Shavuot over here. It says more very good. That's before you did the Truma, you're responsible. But you didn't do a Truma, you're not responsible anymore once they did the Truma Salishko, where they separate the money and put it for the Mizbeach. As we learned before. Once they did the Truma Salishko, as we mentioned before, that's why they do Shavuot to the Gizbarim, because the Bnei will not pay anymore. The Tanya Torimim, we do Truma, ala avut, ala gobli, ala osid li govers, on lost, being collected, and what's going to be collected. What does it mean? So Rashi learns that Ovud means the Shliach is taking it and got lost. Govli means that they didn't give it yet to the Shliach, or just collected from Meir. Ha-osid li govers means they are intending to do it, but they didn't realize that they're already doing true in Beis Hamikdash. So they have intention to go and collect the money. They didn't collect the money yet, but they're about to collect it, so it works retroactively, the Truma Salishko, for what will be collected later. The Tosafos says, Ovud means not that it was Nevad, but from the Shliach. It was Nevad from the Gizbarim. It came to Beis Hamikdash, got lost. Gavui, it was given to the Shliach and got lost. I mean, the Gavui means that it was not given to the Shliach yet. So you see that the Truma works for everything. So when you're right, this for here you can't explain that you have a shvua in this case. The only reason the shvua works over here is because they want people to do shvua, so they're not going to be mizalzel b'egdish. The person says, "I took the money of egdish and got lost." Oh, so you don't have to pay for it. So you will be mizalzel. Say do a shvua that really you did not you were not peshia in this case. And it says one is a socher in a mishalim if he's a shemasor, it doesn't pay. How the basic bacham the rabbi? Now no, is a socher in a mishal, doesn't pay. Very meaning he has a question. Hasoicher sapoya lishmor saporo. If you a person hires somebody to guard the Parah Aduma for Beis Hamikdash, Shmor Satinoi, the child, we learned that in Mesechus Yuma, that they had the children that make sure they were born, they raised him without getting any tumah. So special chum did a Parah Aduma. Lishmor says Roim to guard the Zroim, which means for the Oimer, right? When Pesach now, the Zroim of the Oimer, for what? In order for nobody to take it, because it belongs the pashtas to things of Shemitah. Rashi brings two explanations. Talking of things of Shemitah, you have to go and guard it so nobody will take it, so you can use it for the Oimer. And notice, these people they're working for Hegdish, and notice it was Chal Shabbos, you don't pay him for working on Shabbos. I think therefore he's not responsible for what happens on Shabbos. But Sochi Shabbos, if it was hired for the entire week, Sochi Chodesh, it was hired for the entire month. Sochi Shana, for the entire year. Sochi Shavuot is hired for the entire 7 years. Then you do pay him on Shabbos. That's called Havlah. Let's forget today as well. When you pay for a worker, you're not allowed to pay for what he did on Shabbos, but you're allowed to pay for him in Havlah when you pay for a large amount in Shabbos as well. Lefikach, therefore, Achar Shabbos off. He's responsible for what happens on Shabbos. Ma'alav, what does it mean he's responsible? Leshalom, he has to pay like a shomer. So you see, there is a shomer by Hegdish, because all these cases talk about Hegdish. So the word loy lahafsit schar, referring to lose his salary, like we said before. Yeah, he reish. Look at the reish. Tani, Shabbos love. He's not responsible for Shabbos. You want to tell me what does it mean? He's not responsible. He won't get a salary. So what's the chiddush? You say you don't pay him for Shabbos, and therefore he's not gonna lose his money for Shabbos. Of course, he's not gonna lose money for Shabbos because there's no payment for Shabbos. So they said this doesn't make sense. What's the chiddush? Ishtik. So he was quiet. Didn't know what to answer. Only me. Do you have any answer? Here they did a special kinyan, and the kinyan makes him responsible like a regular shomer. If you look at Rashi, Rashi says, if he does wrong something with shmir, yeshalim. Habad yeshalim. So here is a special extra responsibility regarding himself. So this is a special case, and really you do have a concept of showing by Hegdish if he did do a kinyan. The Gemara brings the end of the Mishnah of Shimon Aimer, if he is responsible, so there is a no, if not. So the Tano brought a brisa for Rav Yitzchak bar Abba, and he said like this: that you're responsible for chayav shani korbin b'ashem mekichesh. You dash the word. It says regarding hakosha. It says there b'amito is mekichesh. B'amito is b'ashem. He lied to Hashem because he did a shvur. He lied to his friend because he stole from him. So it says b'ashem mekichesh. He lied to Hashem. So that's how you learn kosher shechayav b'achus. You're responsible for. V'sheinu chayav b'achus. You're not responsible for. Your potter. Why your potter? Shani korbin b'amito v'kichesh. You lied to your friend v'kichesh. Says the word doesn't make sense. The sentence. Where's this turning? I mean, what you're saying is the exact opposite. When you're chal b'chayusa, means your adam is more involved. There's more amitoy. When you're not chal b'chayusa, you're not involved at all. That's what the Gemara is asking. What basis the Gemara? The opposite makes more sense. So if you are responsible, then you have amitoy. If you're not responsible, you have a shem. Omalei isvia. Should I go and just erase this brisa? Omalei loy. No, I'll tell you how to explain this brisa. Hachigoma. This is what we're saying. When you have kosher that you're responsible for chayo, why chayo? What does it mean? So explains Rashi. When you're responsible, it's ba'amitoy. Hi, but it's also hegdish. I mean, we're talking about it's something that you're responsible to be the base of Mikdash, but Hashem, it also belongs to Hashem. Correct. Says they weren't. You're right. Correct. You have Hashem, but it's because it says Hashem Kichesh. The special drasha that sometimes even things of Hashem, you are responsible. You do have a shvur. When is that? When it's also a mitzvah. So when you have responsibility, the fact that it's also hegdish is not bad because it says Hashem Kichesh. When it's not Chabachus, it says Amito. It has to be something that you have that belongs to your friend, either completely or somewhat. At least there's a chayas. But if it's only Hashem, so then Amito Kichesh tells you there's no shvur. So this drush of the brisa is a correct drush. Says the word so when you sell a jewel or an animal, there's no. Also a sevatorah, there's no it could sell for much more than its value. Can't sell the mail. Person, there's no limit. I can sell for as much money as I want. It's an animal and a jewel. Meaning sometimes a person has an animal and he wants another animal to be together. Rashi says even to carry the carriage, you want to have two animals of the same value. Or you have a jewel, you want to come and pair it with another jewel which is the same value. And therefore you want to pay much more than the value in order to be able to pair with something you already have. I don't understand. A person wants to pair everything. Not only a jewel and a cow, but also his table, his chair, his furniture. Yeah, but this is much more important for him. Right? So they told Rabbi Yehuda everything you want him mizavik, and there's still no. So he answered back, yeah, but there's some things he's willing to overpay by a lot in order to get the zivug, which is a jewel and an animal. How much can you overpay? Meaning double. Whatever it's worth, you could do double. And a horse, a saif, and a sword. Chatitum means a shield. In other words, weaponry that you need for the war. If it's the time of war, there's no. People are willing to pay much more. There are things that people want to pay more, there's no. And the Shmuel says the Rabbanan argue, discussion here is the Rabbanan argue regarding the weaponry as well, meaning when there is a time when people are willing to pay more, do you say no is chalal or not? That's the machlekes, and that's the discussion here in the Rishonim. Says the Mishnah, the same way there's a no by buying and selling. There's also a no when a person speaks bad to his friend and cause him. Here comes the lashon of a no, lashon tsar, lashon pain, cause pain to your friend. A person should not tell his friend, how much you're selling this? He doesn't want to really buy it. He's just doing it to annoy him, to give him the anticipation, the expectation, and someone's buying it. A person is about tshuva. Say, remember your original deeds. He might have been Gerim, he's a son of Gerim. Even though he's not saying anything bad about him, saying bad about his forefathers, it's also a problem. Here you have a pasuk not to annoy and upset a ger. So as we know, the psukim we mentioned earlier, we have two psukim one next to each other. So it says we go to Mekach Memka loisoinu, then it says loisoinu isha samito. Talk about nois dvarim, upsetting someone with your words. Maybe we talk about money, meaning like we said before, overpricing or underpricing. The other pasuk, the earlier pasuk, it says when you buy or sell, and it says loisoinu. Here you have no. So when you say loisoinu, talk about upsets his friend. If it's about tshuva, don't tell him, remember your original deeds. If he's a son of a gang, don't say, remember what your forefathers did. You have a ger. He said, I want to learn Torah. Your mouth, they ate all the machalas asus, all the bad food. The very trade for Shkotzer Masim. You're coming to upset him and annoy him. The person is suffering. He's getting sick. He's bearing his children. You should not tell him what the friends of Eir told Eir. This explains over here, your yira is what you should rely on. That's what is your hope, and that's what will be mashve drachim. Look to find if anybody who's clean is lost. Meaning, where is your Yiras Shamayim? The fact that you're being punished, that means there's something missing. You're being punished for a reason. So that's called annoying something, upsetting something. If there is people coming, there are people that take donkeys from place to place, say, we want to buy some grain. Don't tell him, oh, go to Shmuel. Shmuel sells tefillah. He knows he doesn't sell tefillah. But he just wants to push them away and cause them to be upset. A person should not go to the store and look at some item and say, oh, it looks very interesting. And he has no money to pay. Meaning, the God that includes everything. All this has to do with your heart. A person can say, I didn't mean to say anything wrong. I didn't mean to buy, not to buy. I thought the guy does sell it. I didn't mean to upset. It says in the Pasuk, if you're afraid of Hashem, Hashem knows what's going on in the heart, like Moses will tell us later. Hashem knows what you're really intending to do. By nos dvarim, there's more. It's more chamer than the money when you cheat, when you're overpricing, underpricing. By nos dvarim, it says, be careful from Hashem, be afraid of Hashem. It doesn't say the extra says much more chamer. It says another reason. By nos mammon is with your money. You're doing aver with your money. It's not as chamer as doing aver with your guf, with your body. Money you can always get back. But if a person insulted somebody else, he can't take it back. Someone who embarrasses his friend, and using his lashon mal b'chaver causes a friend to turn white in public. It's as if he kills his friend. Only Shafir Kalmart says they're saying good. You see that the red of the face goes away and becomes pale. So you see that he's losing a little bit of his life, a livelihood. You see he's losing a little bit of his life. He's becoming basically dead. Well, they're careful in Eretz Yisrael. They're very careful not to embarrass their friend. Everybody goes down to Gehenna, except 3 that don't go to Gehenna. Everybody goes to Gehenna. Anybody goes to Gehenna goes up from Gehenna. Except for 3, they go down to Gehenna, but they do not go up from Gehenna. Who are the 3? You see someone with a relationship with a married woman. Someone embarrasses his friend in public. And a person who calls his friend with a nickname. Says the Gemara, if you call him a nickname, meaning you're embarrassing him. Even though it's a normal, and always people call him that name. It's a name that Rashi says, his face is not turning white. He's still intending to embarrass him. So these are the three that go to Gehenim and don't go up. So he says, now they never go up from Gehenim, because the Rishonim go up from Gehenim after 12 months. We're talking about regular Poishe Yisrael. We learned in Maseches Chagigo, Maseches Eruvin, that they're like Mizbeach Hazov, Maseches Chagigo as well. They don't really burn Gehenim. They go into Gehenim and they go up right away. These, they stay in Gehenim for the 12 months. The person who has a relationship with Eshizish, the person who's Malach B'Chaver Rabim, and the person who's Mechanish B'Chaver, he goes to the Gehenim and stays there for 12 months. Today's goes on and says there are others that stay forever. Until the end of their life, people that are Poishe Yisrael, that meaning Apikarsim, they stay there. And then Tosis points out, one last thing he points out, the Morning even says that every person who's over Avero, Avero comes and recognizes him and takes him out, except for Boyer Ramis. So says Tosis not talking about only Boyer Ramis. Boyer Ramis is one of many Averos, but that causes that he doesn't recognize him to take him out. So Tosis basically says there's different types of Averos, different type of levels. What we are focusing on in the Gemara is that any regular Rosh Hashanah in a Gehenim can go out immediately, goes into Gehenim, goes up. And the three that we're mentioning over here, which has to do with the Noah's time, mainly is ones that go into Gehenim for at least 12 months. Right. And really, I just to be correct, Tosis says that Avyesh Nidoim Lo something there forever, meaning until Olam Haba. Hamad B'Chaver B'Rabim, there has no Chag Olam Haba. So, I mean, not all three are equal. They regular Rishonim go together and go right away. Some stay for 12 months, like Kabbalah Shazish. Some stay forever, as the one that we're going to learn later, that's what we're talking about over here. B'Ser Gomer, we'll stop over here, continue to raise Yeshiva after Shabbos, and we should have a wonderful Shabbos.